as I've been doing, we got a little bit of time left, enough for me to tell this little quick story. Daylight got a story to tell. So in this edition of Daylight's got a story to tell. I'm gonna tell y'all how I ended up in Atlanta, and quite possibly was selling white girl that came from Atlanta, right? So I might have told this on another episode, but I didn't structure it like this or whatever, so we don't get into it like that, right? I had a homeboy who got caught up in some shit or whatever, Jerry, with like a car, like he bought a tag car. If y'all don't know anything about tag cars, that was what E-Money Bags and Supreme B started over. But anyway, he got caught with a car that he got, and the car came back stolen. You know what I mean? All this shit. So he gets booked in Jersey, whatever. He gets out, I guess he post bond, whatever. If I remember correctly, he said like he had like a chick party, jewelry and all that shit. And so he comes and he finds me or whatever and shit. I was actually like spending a lot of time in Harlem or whatever. I was renting a room up there. You know what I'm saying? At the time. So I'm over, like I'm in another section. I'm somewhere on the east side or whatever, and I'm fucking with one of my peoples. You know, I was still kind of messing with dice a little bit, like, and I stopped shooting dice for a little minute, but I got back, you know what I mean, like on it, just fucking with bro. So he pulls up or whatever and shit. We doing our thing, and he tell me he need $100 or whatever to get a bus ticket. Go down to Atlanta, like told me the whole situation about him getting out of jail. Whatever. So I'm like, damn, and they're like, that's crazy. So I give him the bill, right? He's like, nah, bro, I'm good. I just need the bill. Like, we're down there. I'm telling him, fuck, do not end up down there in Atlanta with nothing more to your name than a ticket stub. You understand what I'm saying? From a bus trip. All right, and so we take 3. Fast forward maybe 6-7 months later, I've been talking to him or whatever. Like, you know, this is when like the Sidekicks was out. I want to say Sidekick or the 2-Way. Either way, like, you know what I'm saying. It was one of those. In fact, I had the Atlantaand 009. That's what I had. You know what I'm saying? It was like the phone that was like a 2-Way, but it had the phone on it. Because the regular SkyTel didn't have the phone. I had already switched to that. I had the Atlantaand 009. So, nigga, this is like 02 going into 03. Right? So, dude pull up on me. Right? In the same location actually that I gave him the 3, like around that same area, like the Lehman Village area, east side. And the nigga is in a Maserati. It was maroon, the 4-door shit. Oh, it was cute. But bro, he's like, yo, bro, like, what up? You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo. I'm like, nigga, what the fuck is going on with you, bro? Nigga got his little jewels on and shit like that or whatever. Like, it wasn't a lot of jewelry, but it was like the pieces, bro, the way they shine and all that shit, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Nigga definitely had some upgraded shit, because he had to pawn his other shit, you know, to get out of that situation. So he tell me, like, jump in the car with him, you know what I mean? Take a ride. I'm like, hell nah. Last time I saw you, nigga, you got jammed up for riding around in a car, you know. That wasn't like, that was your car, but wasn't your car. So anyway, he's like, nah, bro, you know I wouldn't do that to you, whatever. I'm straight. It's my shit. I'm like tripping, because like that 7 months ago, I just gave you niggas like But whatever. I jump in the car, we riding around. We end up on 125th Street. Like we're riding between Atlantaand and like 7. We're actually about to go up, like we're riding to get up on Broadway, and we were gonna ride Broadway down to 145 because the room that I was renting was on 146 between Broadway and Riverside. I mean, that was back when you could rent like the room for like $100 a week. You know what I'm saying? Back then, you know, they get money, so that wasn't nothing to shell out. Like I had a room in Brooklyn, Harlem, and I stayed with that now. In the Bronx, I ain't really have because the one I wasn't fucking with big man. But basically, Harlem and the Bronx, it was like if you're in one, you're in the other. So, we go up there, whatever, and shit, inside the little room and shit, and you know, we sitting there. I didn't smoke at the time. Like, bro was in there, so he's sitting up there, whatever, and he telling me, you know, about Atlanta and all of this other shit or whatever. So, you know, we kick it, and then we go out. It's like a little Chinese restaurant, it's like right by Domino's and everything like that. And got something to eat. We went to DJs, you know what I'm saying, all that shit, whatever. He just up there. And then he just started telling me, like, yo, bro, come to Atlanta with me. After he told me all this shit, like, yo, you need to come to Atlanta with me. I can't come to Atlanta. I got shit going on or whatever. And nigga said, yo, I need you to stick back and come with me. I'm laughing. I'm like, nigga, you ain't got no stick back. Come to Atlanta with you. Nigga gave me 3. You understand? Like, right there. So now I'm looking at it like, shit. So I'm like, all right, like worst case scenario in my mind, my nigga, I'm looking at it like, if this all some bullshit, I'm still up 3, even if I don't get the other end. Like a flight back is nothing. Still up 2 things. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So I gotta get down there. We check into a hotel in Sandy Springs, and you know, we kind of was rotating through hotels, but like he had 2 rooms, so he take me to one room, that's his room and shit. And I'm like, oh shit, you got 2 rooms up in this bitch? I said, you been staying here the whole time? So he's like, hey, nah, this your shit. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, he got it till the end of the month. So I'm like, the end of the month, nigga, like I didn't necessarily say out of my mouth I was committed to staying. But anyway, bro, we go out, you know what I mean? Like he take me to Lenox Mall. That was my first time going to Lenox Mall. All of that shit, and because this wasn't my first time in Atlanta. Like I had been there like the year before. Fucking with some dudes that I met that they were in New York and Times Square, and I just had to help find some weed and where the little club was at. We built a rapport. But so anyway, but you know, I never did no shit now. So anyway, I'm running around with this nigga, whatever. So he take me to bus to play with him. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I got in the mix with some shit or whatever and made some money. And he sat here or whatever and gave me this. So no bullshit, no. I made like 48 hours. I made like around 6, 7. At the time, I just started talking to this girl, and I kind of was. It was one of them situations where like she was a bad, you know what I'm saying? And she worked at like this outlet, you know what I mean, that showed like designer shit. And basically, you know, when I finally knocked her, we probably was only rocking for about 3 weeks, right? You know what I mean, before all of this happens. So she called me, and she worked in the city. She called me, and she said, "What's up, bro? Like, you wanna link up for lunch and all that?" I'm like, "Oh, that would have been cool." I said, "I'm not even in the city right now." She's like, "Oh, you in Brooklyn?" That now. I'm like, "Nah, I'm in Atlanta." She's like, "Atlanta?" She's like, "When you decide to go to Atlanta?" Shit. yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, morning and shit. So now she like, oh damn, she like, so when you coming back? And I'm like, honestly, after the night I just had, I don't know. So she's like, well, what about us? But I'm so open off of like all the potential I'm seeing. I tell her, she coming around. Then she like, nigga, I got a job. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the fuck your job? Like, if this shit go how I think it's gonna go, we got to be lit. And the shit was lit for a little minute. The nigga took me so fast forward, like, I was seeing like little shit like BMF Entertainment, like, you know what I mean, whatever, but I wasn't really like paying attention because one thing I knew about the South was there was a lot of little independent labels and, you know, shit like that. Like, so I wasn't really tripping on that. You know what I mean? Like, the only time that I actually saw MEECH like in a club, it wasn't even Compound and Chaos and that a big one. I want to say it might have been Vision. I can't remember. Like the way like we used to do that shit, like when I was in Atlanta, like fucking with bro, it's like we would go to multiple spots. Like every night would have like its like club. Like every club had its night. Every strip club had its night. But it's like before, rather than show up there early, like you might go and hit all the little other like, you know, cool spots. You know, they serve food in there, so you might like have to do a happy hour wait, have some food before you go really turn up and drink and all of that. So it was a lot of little activity, but you know, we it might have been a strip club, it might have been Body Tap or Strokers. I'm pretty sure it was a strip club. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember specifically like niggas throwing that damn money like that. And you know, I'm young, I'm what, 2002, 3, 19, 18, 19. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm kind of like just playing along with whatever the vibe is. Then I started noticing or whatever that it wasn't a lot of people that I was running across in Atlanta that were actually from Atlanta. Like I remember being in Lennox or whatever and shit, or around Lennox Mall and shit, and I met like a girl and she was like, she was born and raised. That was the first time I heard the phrase, I'm a Grady baby. And you know, I remember I gave her like an Atlanta hat, like a Atlanta Braves hat that I bought. Like it was in the back of the car. I got that shit from Walters when they had the joint with the white underneath it. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of just the traditional shit. And you know, that was where now 03 or whatever, All-Star Weekend happened. And that was when I kind of saw that the South was finna be, you know, a force to reckon with in the music game. Because T.I. 24, I believe Rubber Band, and like all that shit, but 24 in particular, that was an early spot. I Ain't Never Scared. It was a couple of joints or whatever at that time that was really like every club, every All-Star Weekend party we went to, it was lit. And that was the first time I seen DMX. I was like full force. You understand what I'm saying? Fast forward later on that year, the incident with Wolf happened. Now, I can talk about this shit now because the statute of limitations is up. It's just over 20 years ago. So after the towers had fallen, like a zipper, like some powder and shit was going for 1,200, like, you know what I'm saying? And I was used to paying like around about $8.50. You know what I'm saying? So that gave me leg room. Like I could charge somebody else 12. Like, you You know what I'm saying? And you figure you get 100 grand or whatever, so you make a $2,000 profit. So it kind of gets pay more people, and you still like to do that. So you can have somebody hustling for you, still make a G a day, and they might make around a G or 900. You know what I'm saying? But either way, it's good time. We young niggas, bro. 18, 19 years old. So, and then some of the dudes, like, so, these are the guys in the past. Well, we had situations where, like, I had some older dudes, like, niggas older than me, like, open, shit. But, and a couple of other niggas did too. It wasn't like I was that. So the dude's whole selling point or whatever that even made me come down to Atlanta, what I didn't mention before, is that they were only charging $750, $800. So I'm just looking at, like, I'm not even looking at staying in Atlanta. I'm just saying, like, yo, I got promotion, like all them little towns upstate and everything like that I told y'all about, that we were like going to. It was just like, yo, you can get this shit cheap from down there, and it's like you always put somebody up there. It's already structured. But anyway, nigga, I don't know, like, I don't understand the correlation or whatever, and I don't know who this shit is coming from or whatever. Like, in my mind, like, I'm not really tripping on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm dealing with my people. He's good with me and shit. We have history. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool with me. You know what I mean? I'm cool with my connect. Like, you know what I'm saying? We have an actual, like, business relationship and friendship. But I'm not really thinking about all of it. I'm not necessarily spending a whole heap of time in Atlanta, like within the city limits. So I'm trying to take the show on the road. So how I find out that the work comes from, allegedly comes from, like, maybe BMF, is one night I get a call, like, night going into the morning, I get a call, and I'm in Norcross, Georgia, with a bitch. I get the call. They tell me, yo, nigga, they just clip Wolf. Verbatim, that's what he said, clip. I'm like, oh, shit. Whoa. Like, it's a lot of wolves. You know what I'm saying? He said, nigga, wolf, bro. Giddy wolf. I said, where? Like, he said, yo, in Atlanta, nigga, out here. I said, who the fuck got down on that nigga? Because we know Wolf to be like, he get active, bro. Like, I believe, homie had, like, the pimp on police and all that shit, so he done go. I mean, he fired the shot that took Big Jake out.
Now y'all see Jake Robles and y'all see Suge Knight, but the dude on there, Montreal, that's Mob James' brother. Little fun fact.
You feel me? So then I said, well, damn. So when I'm inquiring, like, yo, who the street saying, you know what I mean? He said, yo, they saying or whatever and shit, the Mafia niggas did it. I said, the Mafia? So they say Mafia, I'm thinking like the Italians or whatever, and they thought they like, nah, bro, Black Mob. But now I'm thinking, Philly? I said, Philly niggas out here? So he's like, bro, DMF, nigga. He said, the niggas with the billboard. I said, the record company niggas? He said, bro. He said, yeah, they got the label shit. He said, but, nigga, that's who the shit come from. I said, you fucking kidding me. He said, yeah, bro. He said, the nigga with the braids, you ain't never seen him? And then he just broke down the whole night. I think it was body tapping, stroking and shit. And I'm like, bro, I would have never thought, like, yeah, he had, but if you look at MEECH in the picture, just a nigga with braids, light-skinned nigga with braids, white teeth, and some jewelry on. majority of niggas in Atlanta nightlife. So I didn't like think that. I was like, bro, I said that nigga I could have been standing next to that nigga and not even know. You understand? I would have been telling him, listen, I'm the type of nigga I would have been trying to tell him, like, hey, bro, you know, look like we in the same business or whatever, and stuff like that. Let me know if you need. I was telling you, man. Just like that time I tried to offer Kylie Irving a blunt at Joel Santana's party in Miami. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell that story. Maybe I'll tell that story tomorrow. You know what I mean? Well, that comes later and shit. I might start telling the stories in chronological order, like just spacing them out. You know what I mean? Little key events, and then they might lead to other stories and shit. But that's basically how I found out that I had, you know, some possibly had cocaine that came from Big Meech. You know what I'm saying? And then when they got like in the mix with Smack, and then I started paying more attention and like, you know, because the nigga Ill is from East New York. Now I don't know him, you know what I'm saying, but I know his name, like, you know what I'm saying, like they know of him in the city of Brooklyn for sure. And you know, all of the niggas around him that was claiming that Brooklyn Mafia was niggas that, you know, I kind of seen floating around before, you know what I mean, shit like that. So that's pretty much like when it all came full circle. And then, you know, they were around like names I explicitly knew, like BK Roy, and, you know, then, you know, Jab Shooter was in the mix. I'm seeing Fab and niggas from Freeport. And so, you know, I'm like, okay, like, you know what I mean? They got a nationwide move. And then, you know, Blue and them, you know, when he was still supposedly good, I guess. He was up here, whatever, messing with Pop and Stu when they still Black Star Music, when they still had the shit or whatever in there. And then in the midst of all of that, with my partner DJ Junior, this is like fast forwarding going like to the 2010s before I got indicted. My homie DJ Junior, who was DJing for Brick Squad and you know, Zopound, shout out to the Z. He was doing a project with homie Baby Truth and his brother Boogie, BMF, and they were super young at the time, bro. Like now that I think about it, like when I realized how old they are now, how long like I've known them. You know what I'm saying? They were still teenagers, but they put together this pre-BMF project. It was like a mixtape. It was hosted by DJ Junior and DJ Grady. And they had like all of the rappers who were known to be affiliated with BMF, like Tudge, there's a bunch of niggas. I think Calico, whatever, put some shit on there, you know. And so Junior sent me the tape, I think, or I saw it on his timeline, because we were doing a lot of mixes. He was also DJing for my nigga Chopper Zoe. Shout out Chopper Zoe. And yeah, that, you know, we just clicked up or whatever. Baby Truth, Boogie ended up going like to jail like shortly after that, and Baby Truth, you know, thing. And there's been a lot of discrepancy about whether or not niggas is real BMF. Like, I'm gonna say, for me personally, in all the 15 years knowing them niggas, I done seen them niggas around. Niggas like Pig, rest in peace, G Weeder, Free G Weed, still locked up. Like a lot of official members. You understand what I'm saying? Like rocking these BMF chains and all that shit, or whatever, for like over a decade. And nobody ran down on me. Like, you know what I mean? Shit, they was running around with weed. While he was still out here for a little minute before he got, you know, snatched up. So, you know, Sharp even said it on No Jumper and anything like that or whatever. Like, ain't nobody take them chains. And them niggas, when they got new ones, you know what I'm saying, still got the old shit. So, you know, shout out to Baby Truth, DA, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to Boogie BMF. But yeah, that's pretty much my story. You understand about going to Atlanta and selling a little deal of cocaine. But yeah, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. I know some of y'all gonna say, "Oh, this nigga cat," but you know what I'm saying. Whatever. Believe what you want to believe.